Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I am Isani Cayetano.
And good morning, Isani. How are you doing?
It's the eve.
It is the eve.
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I told myself, in my mind on Sunday that I have to be prepared for an extraordinarily early week.
Yeah.
When I say early Monday, Tuesday, certainly tomorrow, and then on Thursday morning, we'll probably still be recovering from the count.
Yeah.
And so
And also
I'm
giving
looking
a
forward
recap.
to it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all here for it. It's just that I have to be mentally prepared that I'm going to be up early for the majority of this week.
You know, I have to say, and I will admit that this probably comes from not experiencing it, Isani, but I am so excited about this week. I know you've been there, done that, so you're like, let's just get it over with. But I really am enjoying the experience so far, all the preparations leading up to the official coverage tomorrow. We've been talking about it as of last week and yesterday, the extensive coverage that we've been providing leading up to this year's municipal elections, both on the news side as well as the morning show. Our viewers would know that today wraps up the Meeting the Mayoral Candidate special interview that we've been providing since last month. So today is going to be an interesting one. But before we even get into talks of municipal conversation and whatnot, let's jump into what's buzzing, Isani. I know that we had quite a heavy newscast last night as it relates to crime and violence.
And I take what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'll go on a limb to say it's an understatement. We've had a very violent weekend.
Yeah.
When you look at the body count between Friday and Monday, I believe my colleague Hippolito was doing a sort of a brief tally, and we were at 7.
Wow.
Yeah. You're talking crime and violence and road traffic fatalities, but you know, we lost 7 persons over the course of the weekend.
Yeah.
And if you look at our newscast yesterday, as much as we tried to diversify the content of the newscast, a lot of it focused on incidents that transpired over the weekend.
Yes, absolutely. I know that the headline story had to do with Shane Beiser, and that was a story that developed over the course of the weekend leading into Monday, where his body was finally found. And it's quite a sad story, knowing that apparently it was his own employee that took his life.
Yeah, well, what is interesting about this development, and I believe on our end, there's a bit more that we can delve into in terms of getting out on the ground and doing some more investigative work, if I could use it as such. It's the fact that the police came forward to confirm that the suspect, who they had initially been looking for, died by gunfire in an attempt to arrest this individual. And they're saying that he produced a firearm and took aim at the officers, and, well, they fatally shot him. So there needs to be a bit more in terms of understanding what actually took place there. You know, it's not that we don't necessarily trust the police department, but we have our work cut out for us in terms of trying to understand what actually took place.
Yeah.
Where in Cotton Trees, so on and so forth, right? So that's going to be part of what we're aiming to do today. But this is my observation. When we look at the horrific nature of the crimes that were perpetrated perpetrated over the course of the weekend. In both instances for our major stories yesterday, the suspects are no longer alive. If you look at the situation with Shane Bizer, Cruz Castillo was shot and killed by police, as I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And in the case of Brian Kyle and Jaquan Smith, he hung himself inside a holding cell at the Corozal police station. And I can only imagine what it's like perhaps for the parents of the young lady Kyle, because they won't see justice.
Yeah.
That's one. The other equally important, if not most important part, is that the toddler is now orphaned. And I think that's heartbreaking in and of itself if you look at it from that point of view. And in the case of Cruz Castillo, well, you know, I don't know how the family of Mr. Bizer feel about what transpired in that scenario. Suffice to say that he won't be standing trial at all for any of the crimes that he allegedly carried out. And I say that because it's almost as if though the Commissioner of Police read through a laundry list of offenses that he was suspected of carrying out. And, you know, it begs the question, okay, so there are all these allegations against this individual. Why was he out all along?
Yeah.
What happened there? You know, and again, perhaps that's a question for them to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know, as you mentioned, that the work of reporters on both of these stories, or primarily the story of Jaquan Smith, it still continues because we are still trying to ascertain a bit more information of what took place. But also in the case of Cruz Castillo, as you mentioned, what took place where he was able to obtain this vehicle and have it all the way in Cotton Tree. How did he get control of Shane Bizer's social media page? Because they were also saying that early on Monday morning, I believe, or it was Sunday, there were posts coming from Shane Bizer's social media page as well.
But we're not necessarily certain who was the one behind that part
Exactly.
of it. So I won't go that extra step and say it may have been Mr. Castillo. I don't know.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is there's still quite some questions that are unanswered. And I think I can't imagine what the family is feeling at this time. In a case like this, it's a very unique one because you don't always hear that a perpetrator is killed instantly by a police officer, you know? So in some cases, justice is served, but in other cases, it's like, you know, you wish that that person could see and understand the loss that he caused onto the family members. Yeah. So I really can't imagine what his family is feeling right now. I can tell you that I knew Shane Bizer simply because I'm from the River Valley as well. So I was aware of his tour sanctuary that he made for the howler monkeys in Bermudan Landing, and also the eco tour that he used his property to show sustainable living. So I can tell that the community has really felt a loss in the death of Shane Bizer, and I'm only hoping that they're able to find some comfort in knowing that the person that killed Shane, in some ways, they've gotten justice.
All right, so the other thing that's buzzing has to do with an incident that took place inside the San Ignacio police station on Valentine's Day. Now, this has sort of been bubbling below the surface for a while, as I was aware of it. I hadn't seen the video just yet, but I saw a police report that was filed by the officer, the female officer, who was the victim in this situation. But the sheer absurdity of a male colleague at your place of work groping you in the manner in which he did. Groping on a whole is completely, that's out of order, and it's cause for a charge to be brought against the individual. But when you look at him physically attacking her after sexually assaulting her, and I understand what the Commissioner of Police was saying yesterday when he said that when he saw the video, which we just saw, he was appalled by it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, it's repulsive. But I would want to take the position that our colleagues in the media took in terms of questioning the Compal about it. This is, in my opinion, solely my opinion, this is not something where you simply charge and put someone on interdiction. What about terminating him all along? If you said you had a zero tolerance policy for certain quote-unquote stupidity within the department, this is one of them. This, I think, there's nothing here that needs to be discussed. The 20-second video shows you everything. And in no possible way should we simply say, okay, well, we were charged off for harm and sexual assault and we put up an interdiction, because interdiction means half pay and that perpetrator comes back to work. Now, how do those women
to interact with the victim
how do those women who work at that station supposed to feel when he comes back to work? Right? So again, that's just my position on it. I don't know. While I understand and respect the fact that action was taken, I don't know that it's sufficient action being taken.
Yeah.
And I know that the department has its own policies in terms of how they go about terminating, members of the department and so on and so forth. But what about a zero tolerance policy? That's where I stand on that.
For me, I think of the many instances that things like that may have taken place, but we were not able to capture it, And I think that is what has really sparked the conversation and the outrage from the public and, of course, the media as well, because there's actual visual evidence of what took place. And I do commend the commissioner by saying that this is why it's important for them to have video cameras in the station, but I don't think that we should be at a point where we have to see it to really take action, to really show that there is, as you mentioned, a zero tolerance policy on sexual assault and sexual harassment, because these things take place a lot more than we are willing to admit. Not even in the public service, but across the board. And,
it's a black eye on the police department, admittedly. There's no going around that. You saw the video. It's clear what is taking place there. This is a woman at work. She was behind the counter at the desk. This individual approaches her and touches her inappropriately. When she tries to ward him off, he turns around and he hits her. I mean, I don't know. I'm simply saying, and I hold my position firmly on that. You can't just slap a man on the finger and tell him to take 6 months off at half pay or whatever and figure that's okay coming back to work afterwards. I don't know. And for me, as I mentioned, what I think about is the female that was assaulted having to interact with this officer when he returns. That's kind of like traumatization all over again. And even if he's transferred, let's say for argument's sake, he is relocated to another formation or what have you. This is a sex offender. And the individual's identity is out there and everything. Any woman, I believe, who works on staff at the police department would feel a certain kind of way. That's just my position on the matter.
All right.
But that's what's buzzing.
In all of these cases that we've shared, these are individual stories that if there are any further developments, we will be providing that, of course, in our newscast and also in our What's Buzzing conversations. But moving now into some more positive news, and that is our eye-opener. Our eye-opener is taken from dailyom.com, and it goes like this. Most humans are not born consciously knowing what their purpose is. It must be found through exploration. Most living things belong to a particular soul group and are born knowing their purpose in life. Purpose gives our life meaning. When you discover your purpose, you can live your life with intention and make choices that serve your objective for why you are here on the planet. Finding your purpose is not always easy. You must embrace life wholeheartedly, explore many different pathways, and allow yourself to grow. Your purpose is as unique as you are and will evolve as you move through life. You don't need anyone's permission to fulfill your purpose, and no one can tell you what that purpose is. Finding and fulfilling your purpose can be a lifelong endeavor. To figure out what your purpose is, ask yourself, what drives you? Not what forces you out of bed in the morning, but what makes you glad to be alive. Live your life with purpose, and you will feel significant and capable, because every action you take and each choice you make will have meaning to it. I love this eye-opener. And this is a conversation that I feel like I have often with my circle. I love having these meaningful conversations, especially around the idea of purpose and what drives your fulfillment in life. And for a lot of people, that's their job, you know. But some would also say their purpose is to be maybe a parent, or to give back to society. There are persons who are people of service, and they feel that that's their given purpose. But I agree with the eye-opener where it says that your purpose can evolve. It can change as you grow and as you go. So it's a conversation that I think that we'll be constantly having as we age, because the desires of your heart, they might change as you get older. And I think ultimately all that matters is that you feel fulfilled in whatever you do. And if you do feel fulfilled, then that's more than likely your purpose. Your thoughts?
I think in life we're called to serve multiple purposes. I think that's the first thing. Because while you mentioned, and I totally agree, that over time, these objectives change, take various shapes and forms, you're wearing multiple hats as you go along. So if in childhood, your purpose is to understand yourself, because a lot of times we're going through this journey where, okay, so who am I?
Yeah,
Where
I
do
remember
I belong?
that phase.
Yeah.
Whew,
So
miserable.
The purpose there is to find yourself. Once you're able to do that, and you say, okay, you know what? For now, my purpose is establishing my career. So that's another phase. When you get to that, you're seeking a higher fulfillment, so to speak. Okay, now I need to be able to either give back, or I need to be able to have a family of my own and take on parenthood, which is another shift in and of itself. And so I'm simply saying that it's a journey, it's a course that we're taking, where depending on where we are, things change. And so the purpose or the objective also changes. But at the end, for me, the ultimate fulfillment is being able to look back and say, you know what? While I enjoyed my childhood, I also enjoyed my adulthood. I'm sitting back and I'm also enjoying my golden years. So you're looking at all your phases and all the purposes that you would have served as you went along that journey.
Yeah, you know, you said something that really stuck onto me, because I remember earlier in my youth, Isani, there was a period of my life where I was so focused on trying to figure out what my purpose is. And for me, it wasn't the idea of developing that career. It was trying to find out what that career path should be, because I felt like that path is my purpose. And it was so heavy on me, because I felt like I only have this one chance to figure it out, because if I don't figure it out, then I'm not living in my purpose. And I imagine that a lot of young people go through that, where they feel like they have only one chance to get it right, or they're going to live in regret. And now that I'm older, I realize that that's not the case.
It's far from it.
It's exactly.
Simply because we're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah.
We're allowed to take some time to figure ourselves out, right? When you look at your coming of age experiences, many of us did not really know, okay, at 16 years old, what am I here to do?
Yeah, but
you
you
don't
know,
know. So you're
tell
allowed
that
to make
16-year-old
certain
that it's hard. I mean, and I'm sure maybe the different generations as well, speaking here, might be the difference too.
Yeah.
But I think that the generation that I came from, there was a lot of pressure around us because of social media as well. You know, perception is your reality. So for us, we felt the need to get it right the first time, because everything else around us looked like it was going perfectly for other people.
Yeah.
So that was the pressure that I walked around with. But in hindsight now, I can agree with you, and I can tell you that the purpose was not that one thing. It was everything around it, you know. The process was the purpose too. And
if I only had one shot at getting it right, I probably wouldn't be here. To be perfectly honest with you, I probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
What you see and what the world is seeing is someone who has gone through quite a number of experiences that shape my mentality and mold me to who I am today.
Yeah.
Right? And that takes a lot of falling down and getting back up. And I'm simply saying, look, at the end of the day, it's not just one shot. It's how well you're able to rebound from making those mistakes and the lessons you learn from it and applying those lessons going forward. I think that's what gets us to ultimately where we're going.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to leave it at that then. Moving now into our weather update. I absolutely enjoyed that conversation, by the way, Sani, on the eye-opener. But moving into our weather report from the National Meteorological Service, we've been having warmer temperatures, and I know it might continue so. But I think ultimately what we're hoping for is generally stable weather for tomorrow, Isani, because it's going to be a pretty busy week.
Yeah.
So we have our update from forecaster Wellington. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I hope you're as bright as the weather.
Yes, I am. Well, let us know what we can expect today through to tomorrow.
Okay, guys. So we're seeing fair, warm, and mostly dry conditions, and that will support mostly sunny skies today, partly cloudy skies tonight, and I'm not expecting any rain. Little
Perfect.
or no rain, I should say, right?
Alrighty. So I think what we want to know then is what will our temperatures look like?
Okay, so the maximum we're going for this afternoon along the coast, 88, inland 94. Temperatures slowly creeping up, and in the Maya Mountains, 80. Overnight temperatures, 80 along the coast, 72 inland, 67 up in the Maya Mountains.
Okay. Now, I think one of the questions that a lot of us are wanting answers for is what will the weather look like through tomorrow as well?
We're seeing similar weather conditions, and I will project further. We'll be seeing this for the next 4 days.
Wonderful.
Similar weather conditions, yeah.
Okay. Any update on the marine conditions?
Okay, so winds will be out of the east and southeast, 10 to 20 knots, and producing moderate seas.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, forecaster Wellington. We appreciate the information as always.
You're welcome, and have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Good weather. It's going to be warm, but we'll take it.
There we go.
Moving now into our show lineup. Now, as we've been mentioning, today is going to be our final coverage of meeting the mayoral candidates. We've been providing you with a special insight into who these mayoral candidates are across the different municipalities in Belize. And we've been doing so through the course of February and into this month. So today is that final day. We will be sitting down with the mayoral candidates for the municipality of Belize City. Now, interestingly, this morning is going to be quite an interesting one because our entire show is dedicated to meeting these mayoral candidates, and it will be included for the United Democratic Party, the People's United Party, and the People's Development
Democratic Movement.
The People Democratic Movement. So we'll be meeting all of them. But we got to take that first break, and when we come back, we'll be sitting down with the mayoral candidate for the People's United Party. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm David Humes. This is Vanessa Humes. We own Little Cool Spot. Belize Bank save us a lot of time. Working with them, we can keep track exactly what we spend. We recommend Belize Bank 100% because we don't have to go to stand up in line, and we can check on our account right from our house. Working with Belize Bank is the best.
With so many different styles of light bulbs, sometimes it's tricky to choose the right one. Whether it's a screw-in, candelabra base, or pins, we have what you need. From lamps to ceiling fans, floodlights or chandeliers, we have bulbs available in cool white, warm white, or daylight. All you have to do is choose. Once you have chosen your bulb, the final choice is technology. LED technology is energy efficient, long-lasting, produces a high-quality light, and saves you money. Choose wisely and let Benny's be your one-stop for lights. Benny's, quality and saving.
Widdy up, widdy up, widdy back again. Widdy up, widdy up, widdy win again. Win again. Widdy up, widdy up, widdy back again. Team Mariano. Widdy up, widdy up. Let the chance continue. And I know all of the seats for myself. How, Mr. Man, the beautifying and trigger. We have to keep who the work to we. PUP7 down the line. When it comes to hard work and dedication, Mr. Morris always because he understands. And we can't forget the councillors. This is team ready for the victory.
Discover a shopping experience like no other at the V Department Store. They carry a vast array of products at unbeatable prices. Elevate your shopping journey with affordability, diversity, and accessibility at the V. Conveniently located at 1745 Coney Drive in Belize City.
I never have to worry about traffic. I never have to worry about parking. And I'm always on time.
Spark Beach Cruiser, available in 16, 20, 24, and 26 inch in a variety of colors. Distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Contact us at 620-6465 or 610-3626.
This UDP team think that San Pedro don't forget are the 18 years of corruption, neglect, and abuse that Danny Guerrero, Manuel Heredia, and the UDP make San Pedro go through. Why teacher will cry and complain about the new developments where they happen for the people at the island, but never say nothing when his master puppets may take the taxpayers' money for themselves? Where are the records of the money collected from the bridge gone? We know that not to build a new one. Why is it that before they left office, no revenue record from 2019 to 2021 made about? Ah, wait, what happened to the millions of dollars they borrow and refinance 5 times and they never pay back? You must think he gone for building early roads. No PUP pay for that too. You could believe this madness? Teacher Will can't say nothing because his masters Manuel and Danny still call the shots. New faces, same corruption. Voting for Teacher Will that like you to vote for Danny all over again. We don't need another crack house town council. In 3 years, Wally Nunez and his team done return financial stability to San Pedro, and he done more work than the United Duppy Party ever do in 18 years. And this is why San Pedro is stay on track.
The municipal elections 2024 are just around the corner, and Channel 5 has you covered. The results of this decisive event will determine the direction taken by 7 towns and 2 cities over the course of the next 3 years. Join us for nationwide election coverage with impartial and insightful commentary and up-to-date statistics. With correspondents in every municipality, get a first-hand look at the pulse of the nation as the elections unfold. And while they can have their say,
this is my projection. 9 municipalities, and it is not far-fetched.
We are going to go blue, blue, blue down the line.
The voters will have their way. Tune in to Channel 5 at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, March 6th, and stay with us until the winners are confirmed. Stay up to date with our pre-election coverage on News 5, Open Your Eyes, and on our social media pages. Meet the candidates, follow them on the campaign trail, and have your say on the elections through our social media polls, because your voice matters. Don't miss the excitement and drama of the municipal elections 2024. Tune in to Channel 5 and join us for unrivaled coverage that puts you in the heart of the action.
And welcome back. We are joined this morning by the People's United Party's mayoral candidate for Belize City, former Mayor Bernard Wagner. He's here with us as our first conversationalist to discuss what the People's United Party municipal slate for Belize City is looking like. Good morning,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Wagner.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Great to be here along yourself on the Open Your Eyes show.
How you feeling?
Feeling good. Today is, I believe in the United States, they call it Super Tuesday.
Super Tuesday, all
So
right.
tomorrow will be Super Wednesday for us.
Super Wednesday.
Good. And so we're all anticipating Super Wednesday. Where I want to begin from is the manifesto launch on Monday. I know that you guys were energized yesterday when you presented your schedule. I prefer calling a manifesto a schedule, right? Because it's a plan of action that you'll take over the three-year term once you're re-elected. Let's start there. Let's talk about the Stay on Track manifesto and what it seeks to do for residents of Belize City.
Okay, great question, Isani. The Stay on Track manifesto really the document put together, not by us, but by our interactions and campaigning on the campaign trail with the people. We have always been about the people, and every moves we make, any initiatives, any activities we do is centered around having it being people-centered and community-centered and city-centered. Those are the 3 C's that we really go by. And we wanted to capture what are some of the relevant issues facing Belize City residents. We have put in a lot of work, but still many things are left undone. And so we wanted to have the residents tell us point blank where are some of our shortcomings. Because it's always important to assess and see where you are in respect to your goals, your outcomes, how did the outcomes. And the residents clearly was saying that we need to get back to the basics. We need to get back to the shaping of the drains, cleaning out of the drains on a more normal basis, cutting the grass, having the cemetery cut, ensuring that drains and neighborhoods are in a good state of mind. And that was what we captured here in our manifesto. But more than that, it was about realizing the tandem of working together with a national government. That is key. That is a winning formula. That is a formula that drives development in any modern city. When you have national and subnational governments with the same political persuasion, development happens for the residents of the city. And some of the items that we captured within our manifesto really speaks to having that great synergy working along with our national government. Because we know we cannot do the Balkan Bridge by ourselves. It has to be a collaboration between different entities, different stakeholders. The Swing Bridge, again, cannot be done by a municipality, but rather through the national government. And so there are many points captured in our manifesto, Isani, that really drives home working along in tandem with a national government.
I understand what you're saying. To an extent, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, it's arguable. Because at the end of the day, if you ask me, even if People's United Party slate does not win tomorrow, if you're looking at the fact that there should be some collaboration between local and central government, then theoretically it doesn't matter who or which persuasion, right? It's a matter of getting the job done for the people of the city, in this case, right?
But does that work? Does that really work?
Well, that's
on the ground.
That's where a level of political maturity comes to play. Because if at the end of the day, if you're blue and the other person is red, and I as a citizen need certain services to get done, I can't look upon who blue or who red. I am concerned about my well-being in the context of what's taking place.
And you are right. You are right. You are right. And that is the way it should be. It should be that way. But again, when you are in government and you are sitting in City Hall, I went through it as a mayor in the 2018. We were under a UDP government. I believe one other mayor, probably Zenaida Moya, went through that same journey as myself, being at the subnational level and having a national government of different political persuasion there. So it really, it means, not necessarily mean it does not work, but it means that it takes a lot more ensuring that you collaborate, that you have meetings, that you have to do massaging, and that sort of stuff very important. I just give out one point that, and it speaks to your it's about diplomacy. If you are put in that context, it's about diplomacy, because when I was in 2018, I was able to have a municipal security paper that went to the cabinet, and that paper was approved. So that again shows you some measure of maturity on both sides.
Certainly.
But in an ideal world, you really want to have the national government and the subnational government working in tandem. Take for instance, I'll give you an example. When Hurricane Lisa came and really destroyed the city, the municipality alone couldn't get that 65,000 tons of debris out of the city without the collaboration of the MIDH, without the collaboration of the BDF, the cane farmers, the Coast Guards. The Belize Tourism Board was one of the first entities that came on board and said, listen, Mayor, we need to work along with you to get the city cleaned up. Cruise ships are coming. So that again shows when national, subnational at the same level. When you look at the Gungulung, huge project, huge. We couldn't do it alone. It had to have different stakeholders at the national level. And that is the type of examples I'm speaking about.
I want to go back just a bit. I know Sabrina wants to get into, but one quick question here. And I think it's a matter of giving credit where credit is due, right? I'm a resident of Belize City. Perhaps the viewers who are watching are also from Belize City. In the wake of Hurricane Lisa, the manner in which Belize City was able to rebound from that disaster and the coming together, as you've mentioned, of the Belize City Council and all of these other stakeholders, I think that was commendable. And I'll hands down give you the credit that you deserve for leading and championing that whole cause. That was very, very commendable, right? So we're looking at the kind of municipal leadership that allows us to see these kinds of developments, where we're not only strong when things go well, but we're equally strong when things go wrong that are seemingly beyond our control. Nobody controls a natural disaster, it happens. But how well we're able to, show the resiliency of the people, how quickly we're able to rebound and get back to business or go back to work or normal lives. That's the kind of leadership that people are looking at, right? Let's go in a slightly different direction at this point. You've had 3 years in office for your second term. You have the alignment of the People's United Party central government. Notwithstanding that, what were some of the challenges that you faced, despite the fact that, well, the stars are aligned, so to speak?
There's always, you have a period of adapting, obviously. The national government came in 2020. We won our second term in 2021. And so, obviously, when you have a period where there is adaptation and you're getting used to how we will have this thing work. together? How will we ensure that all of our efforts are focused on the people? And so national government coming in along with the different municipalities all across the country, you have a time period of adaptation of how we work together, and I sense that that was maybe be slow in us really recognizing each and every one of the roles that we play and how each and every one of our inputs really is a part of the output or a part of the outcomes. And when we have been able to discover that it's important that we work together as a national and subnational for the benefit of all the residents. And when we say all the residents, it has to be across the board. I always tell people that when you become the mayor, and I read in a book from one of the mayors in Philadelphia, Mr. Nutter, that when you become the mayor, politics really hit the road, right? It hit the roads thereafter because you are hit immediately with the fact that now you serve everyone in the constituency, and Belize City is not easy. You have 10 constituency. You have to be able to meet the needs of different communities. I always say that the needs of Port Loyola residents are different than the needs of a Freetown Caribbean Shores residents. And so you have to be nimble and be able to meet those specific needs in the different constituencies.
You have to look at socio-economic issues when you look at the map of Belize City and how it's drawn out by constituency. As you rightly mentioned, what takes place in Port Loyola and the residents there may very well be different than what takes place in Caribbean Shores. And their concerns vary based on the socio-economic nature of it.
A resident in, say for instance, Caribbean Shores or Freetown, I was speaking to one and he was saying, Mayor, the pothole, because he's driving his car on a street, maybe decent, but has potholes, need the potholes fixed. Then there is this resident in the Crewman, end of Penn Road area, Jane Usher, that only wants a street, and they are not concerned about which type of streets they get, even if it's a clear street or it's a hardcore streets. They're just tired of walking on London bridges. So you have to be able to balance and understand the different needs of the different constituencies.
And how do you do that when a large stream of that resources comes from the taxpayers? Let's talk about the challenge that you faced or the process that you took to acquire resources to give back to this municipality.
Well, most of the resources from the city is through our autonomous authority in respect to property taxes, in respect to trade license, in respect to liquor license, and traffic fees. Those are the four autonomous revenue streams that we control. We have other streams in terms of the subvention and in terms of the BTB head tax. Those are more controlled through the national government, but goes to service our municipal obligations in terms of securities, short-term, long-term bonds. So we don't touch that funds any at all. That goes directly to central bank. So the reliance on property taxes, trade licenses, liquor and traffic fees are the heart of the city revenue streams. And that on an annual normal basis would amount to like 28 million per year. And so, and mind you, on the expenditure side now you have the operational expenditure. You have your staff salaries, you have your garbage fees, which is one of the biggest expenditure on our books. And then you have the day-to-day other operation. But you also have to be able to put a little amount aside for maintenance of streets, construction of streets, So it's a tight ship that you run. It's very tight. There are no room for error. There's when disaster strikes, it really sets you back as a municipality, and I speak, I believe, for most of the municipalities.
Yeah. One of the questions that we've been asking these mayoral candidates over the course of last month into this month has been, one, how they are able to share the finances, but also accountability. And I want to pose that question to you, Mr. Wagner, because I almost called you mayor, but I want to pose that question.
I'm a citizen Bernard right now.
Yes. I want to pose that question to you as well, because you've had a total of 6 years in office and you're hoping for another 3 years. What are ways that you ensured to be transparent to the public?
Well, there are several ways, and I believe that our council has been one of the leading municipalities in respect to transparency. We have been able to put all our business minutes of our caucuses on our webpage. Our financials, audited financials, as soon as they're completed, we are put on our webpage. We want to go a bit further this term in respect to not only waiting on the audit, but really, because every month you have your P&L and you have your balance sheet, but it's not really an audited per se. It's just the accounting department producing it and forwarding it to the mayor to see where we stand.
Yeah.
How did we operate this month? We want to reach a point where those interim monthly P&L and balance sheets are uploaded to our website. We want to reach a point where we begin to have at least occasionally live stream the business of the people in our caucuses. That will lend to greater transparency. We have been at the forefront. Our Facebook page or social media page have shown every step, every event, every activity that we have engaged in has been on that, and we are proud of being able to say that our municipality has been the leader in transparency.
With 6 years in office, I'm curious to know what the campaign trail has been like interacting with persons at their homes. Have they been saying, you know, Mr. Wagner, you had 6 years, what, you know, you want 3 more? You couldn't do it in 6 years? What are they saying? Are they saying that they're happy with what you were able to achieve?
They are saying that we will stay on track.
Okay.
That is what they are saying. We will stay on track. We'll stay on track with the fact that this Belize City Council has been a journey. It has been a story. And if you take some time to go through our social media page from 2018, you'll see a journey, right, depicted by tenacity, by perseverance, by being resilient. We have been a council that has gone through crisis management. We were told from an early age, and I always say this to people, that Belize City would have failed within 6 months. It has been 6 years. We are still providing the service for the people. We have been big on ensuring that we drive economic activity within our municipality by having all the super sales, having the entrepreneurship program, the BCAP program, by having the community festivals. We want to build inclusive communities where people feel a part of those communities. But aside from that, we want to put people to work because we believe that the best social program is putting people to work. We are expanding physical infrastructure. We are expanding and really revamping the public transport system within the city. We are aware of the effects and impact of climate change, and that's why we are one of the leaders and drivers in ensuring that we begin to recognize the impact of greenhouse gases in our environment and in our atmosphere, and that's why we are going We are driving the e-buses, the e-taxis. This is all a sort of a huge plan in recognizing the existential threat of climate change on us. And so we are a forward-thinking municipality, understanding that we have to look through a 21st century lens. We can't be looking back. It has to be about forward thinking.
So while I hear you, some people would probably argue, well, you're a bit slow to start, especially if we're talking about the e-buses and what have you, because that's been on your to-do list for quite some time. And while the buses are here, it comes at the tail end of your second term in office, right? So some people would say, well, yeah, we get it, but we only get 2 and we get it in the last 2 months, as opposed to, you know, somewhere in the middle or at the very beginning. And I totally understand that certain things take time. I want to go back to the manifesto and how realistic these targets are. I read something yesterday where part of the plan is to construct a boardwalk in the foreshore area, right? And while that sounds all grand and everything, when you look at the revenues generated by Belize City and you look at some of the other priority areas in terms of your financial responsibility to keep things running, is it practical that we would be able to realize some of these objectives on this agenda within the next 3 years?
It's about building stakeholder confidence, and that is why I continue to re-emphasize the importance of working in tandem with the national government. The boardwalk will be a collaboration with the Belize Tourism Board. It's all a part of the rejuvenation of the downtown walking area and visiting the House of Culture. But now it will be an access along the southern foreshore, right from in the neighborhood of the Bliss for the Performing Arts, straight along to the House of Culture. It's to be a tourist attraction. And so we are big, and we know that we can recognize and realize that part of our manifesto, because it's been collaborated. Many of the other activities within the manifesto, we have to begin to look beyond just the city revenues. We have to look about driving development through PPPs, public-private partnerships. The national government is big on that. Actually, they had a session just last week where I attended on the development of the entire core system of PPPs development in the country. And we want to be able to access those type of activities where you have the private sector and the public sector working hand in hand for greater development in any modern city.
Mr. Wagner, I want to give you an opportunity to talk a bit about the team that you are taking with you tomorrow. We have seen some new faces. Let's talk a bit about the team that you have here with you.
Yeah, we have we have rejuvenated the team actually with 5 new candidates, and we have the next 5 returning. That is our Deputy Mayor Alan Pollard. We have our 2 female, Stefan Kaya. We have Javier Castellanos and Edmond Kwan coming back. But alongside the newcomers, we have Elwood Miller, bright young man.
He's been at your side at City Hall for several years.
Yeah, he has been my personal aide. And so he has gotten a really back view and front view of the workings of the...
Was it your encouragement to push him in the ring, or?
No, actually he has been a servant of the people for many years. He used to be the president of the University of Belize student council, I believe. He used to be a young man who come in a yard and play ball, and we always used to hang out. And I tell him one day, when he graduated, come and work at the city council. I'll tell you a story about him. And he started as an intern at city council. We quickly saw he worked well, and we put him in the finance department. And thereafter he propelled himself, and we advanced him. He has been my aide, so he's a really bright.
And he's young.
And he's pretty young.
Yeah.
Pretty young.
Isn't he one of the youngest?
I believe he's the youngest.
Yes.
I do. And we also have Sherwin Garcia, another young guy from the south side. Has been a part of my Belize Bank Bulldogs program. I brought him up from a kid. Coming along, we have Malcolm Nunes, who's the son of former mayor Marshall Nunes. We have Evan Thompson.
And he came from a third party.
Evan Thompson, there's nothing wrong in coming from a third party. There's always room. There's always room for coming under our tent. We are a welcoming party, and we welcome new ideas. We welcome people of different views into our party, and we have Dorian Usher, who is the son of the Minister Gilroy Usher. So we have a good blend of youth, blending with the senior councillors that have been there. I think Deputy Pollard and Castellanos have been there for 3 terms.
Yeah.
Well, going on for 3 terms now. They are senior councillors. It's a right mix. I believe we will be able to really drive development and capture all the different demographic in our society, the youths, women, the business community, the corporate Belize. It's always important to be able to capture a wide audience.
Yeah.
The past 3 years have seen your leadership of the Belize City Council and the 10 councillor candidates that you would have had oversight of, and you're dealing with personalities. There were times when some of those personalities made news. What is the lesson that you would have learned in terms of management and dealing with people who come from various backgrounds, people who have different personalities in the way they go about doing their respective duties? What is the lesson learned from that you will take forward with this fresh team?
You have to, in all families you will have disagreements, right? It's always good and healthy. Always healthy when you have disagreements. Nothing will run smooth. You may want it to run smooth as you want, but at some point in time you reach the rocky roads. But out of those rocky roads and out of those challenges lies opportunities, and lies opportunity where I can hear where you are coming from. I can feel your pain and I understand your pain, but it's always about communication. Let's talk about it privately. Let's discuss the issues that you are facing. It's about maturity, right? And understanding that it's a team. There's no I in team. You have to be a team player. You have to always understand that this team will not go anywhere if you are not a part of it or if you do not support it. Let us do the quarrels and the misunderstanding inside the house. And when we leave there as a united front, as a united team. That is the main lesson from what we experienced this past 3 years, that if you as an individual put the team ahead of yourself and ensure that every decision that you make is for the team, then you will have no issues. You will not run into any problems. I, for one, am a team player. I always tell them that when you all make mistakes, it's a mic that is put in the mayor's face. And I have to respond. And this is what I'm trying to always, especially with the young ones, I'm telling you, you have sat from afar for the past 3 years and you see the success and you have seen the failures. So you should learn from the mistakes, what happened in the past. History teaches us lessons each and every day. If you don't learn from history, you repeat the same. And so the young ones coming in have so much living examples right in front of their eyes to see that if I go down that road, then I'm heading down the wrong road. If I go down this road, I'm heading down the right road. And if I put my team ahead of every single decision making and not deal with the external forces, because there are external forces pulling you. There are 10 era reps that have needs as well. They have their needs and they want things done in their area. And that is not bad. That is not bad. That is what an era rep should do. They should want things for their people in their area. And so they will come to the different councils. And once the council member see that it's a good sort of initiative and you bring it to the caucus and the caucus vote collectively, fine. But the bottom line is you must serve the city. That is your key and core responsibility.
Mr. Wagner, I'll give you this opportunity to voice some last words. This is your camera, and there you'll see that we're giving you an opportunity to speak to the people of Belize City and talk about why they should vote for you and your team tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to really reach out to all the voters. Tomorrow, in my view, is Super Wednesday.
Super Wednesday.
Super Wednesday. And I've been across many constituencies all across the city. I may have not been able to reach. We have 735 streets all across the city. I may not have been able to reach your neck of the woods, but we want to continue the development of the city. We believe that we have the right team. We have a national government in place that will work hand in hand for the development of each and every one of your communities. We were able to conquer over 100+ streets in less than an year. In our manifesto, it speaks clearly of what we intend to do in terms of physical infrastructure, but we never forget the social infrastructure, always be about the people. And we want to continue all those activities that we have in the summer. Our student hub, we want to plan to expand our student hub. We want to expand our youth shadow council, our child advisory body, our youth connect hub in the summer. All the baking and the swimming and the volleyball and the basketball that we do in the summer. Our super sales will expand. Our community festivals will be rich. And we want to continue to drive arts and culture in our city. The city is not all about streets, drains, and garbage. It's about the people. Always about the people. So remember that tomorrow, Super Wednesday. Your mayor is out.
All right. Well, there you heard it. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation continues. This time, we'll be speaking with the mayoral candidate for the United Democratic Party. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Tell me, what about our owner today?
I recently done a Red Girl video. I get more views than Harriet. And you know one person had the nerve to post that I am not even a Red Girl? I mean, like, what that mean anyway?
Well, here what about me? Every time I go buy meat pie, and I go, so, Nothing in there. Nothing.
So this is my issue. I over 18. I don't want no one artist. And you could believe my man still expect me for wash dishes? I got time for that. I owe them for dishes.
Yes. And you, sir?
Well, I don't really got them kind of problems, you know. Ever since I switched to DJ and signed up for my unlimited postpaid plan, life stress-free. Nothing bother me or my connection no more.
From now on, when you visit Uno, you will experience an A+ power in all fuels. Dynamax Plus, the formula with the ultimate technology in additives, provides an A+ power and A+ performance. Dynamax Plus, A+ power and A+ performance to reach further with less fuel consumption. Dynamax Plus, available in all fuels. Uno, a different energy.
Step and drop, 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 hey, beautiful, step and drop, 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 hey, beautiful, step and drop. Wanna talk about less crimes, oh yes. Wanna talk about more jobs, oh yes. Free education, oh yes. In the institution, oh yes. First time that bonus, see me brothers and my sisters, yeah. Agriculture, food security, step and lock, yeah. Low income houses, yeah. Sports for the youth them. Together, hand in hand, listen to me, everyone. On the step and drop, step and drop, on the step and drop, step and drop, on the step and drop, step and drop, hey, beautiful step and drop, on the step and drop, step and drop, on the step and drop, step and drop, on the step and drop, step and drop, hey, beautiful step and drop. Think about a better Belize, for you and me. So just come out and vote for the BUP. So the step and drop, give them all you got. So just come out together, hand in hand. Listen to me, everyone. Let's go!
Two teams fighting for position. Two teams fighting for a city. Only one can prevail.
Defenders don't frighten of nobody.
Belize City, your high-octane, sharp-shooting, high-flying Belize City Defenders returns home, boasting a 4-0 record and are hoping and eager to serve up a loss to their intercity rivals, the Belize Hurricanes. Muy Uno Resort and Old Capital Sports get set to bring the biggest Friday Night Lights episode of this 2024 BEPL season. And it goes down this Friday, March 8th, inside the Belize City Civic Center. Fans, look out for major giveaways like resort stays courtesy Muy Uno and our big halftime 1, 2, 3 cooking oil challenge for not one, not two, not three, but $4,000 in whole hard cash. Don't miss it. Sponsors.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered-up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning-fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a Lone Ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
No, I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
back. We are having our second conversation this morning, and we are sitting down with mayoral candidate from the United Democratic Party. That is Dr. Nelma Mortis Jones. Good morning, doctor. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning, Belize City resident. I'm fine, thank you.
It's nice to have you here with us this morning. I can imagine that this week is going to be a crazy busy week. Yeah?
Well, the week began. Today is what, Tuesday? Yes, and tomorrow makes it, I guess I'll be up from about 4.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be, because we are doing the final stage of the election, which is to ensure that logistical things are and planning are in place for the election day and thereafter.
Yeah, and thereafter indeed. I wanna get a brief introduction from you, Dr. Jones, because you are relatively a fresh face on the political scene. So I want to get an introduction from you to have the people in Belize City and the country by extension know who you are and a bit of your background.
I repeated this so many times. Okay, I have 30 or more years in the education sector. So I'm an educator by heart. I believe that three generations while I was walking on the campaign trail is what I've inherited.
Wow.
I am also a researcher. I am very passionate about Belize and its development. And I'm a social activist. I basically would like to see us transform and develop from that end. So entering politics, I came with the background of strong leadership. I believe my leadership, I guess my resume speaks for itself, but in terms of my passion and the leadership is that I have watched many years and I see where we need leaders who will break barriers in terms of culture, in terms of systems, in terms of industries, in terms of cooperation. That is the only way I think we in this region will be able to press forward and make a difference. Now, that doesn't mean that in my lifetime it will occur, but it simply means that those behind me can continue to blaze the trail.
Yeah, and you wanted to make an impact in some way.
In my time.
As a woman in politics, how have you been able to navigate the landscape? You have your eyes set on City Hall. You would, if you're successful, be the second woman mayor, a United Democratic Party mayor at that. What has it been like in terms of being able to negotiate the landscape that is dominated by men?
I have prepared myself. I knew that I wanted to do this. I had it as a plan. And so I knew that I was going into a man's world. And I prepared myself. One of the things that I have learned is that I cannot internalize people's behavior, their personality, that sort of thing. I am this kind of person that I'm very much aware, and I try to meet people where they're at. Indeed, before coming in, we have been hearing about women being hard against women, but I can tell you simply that I've had a lot of support from women, and it's because we want a voice at the table. I have had a bit, not much, a bit, but maybe after this it can get a little bit more intensified of challenges from men around me. It's because I don't know if it's your wiring or whatever it is, but when I have to press on something that I'm convicted about and it's not aligned with their perspective, or they get this impression that you're talking down to them, and I'm not that kind of person. I talk with, it's one of my premise. So I have a few little incidents of that part of it.
And that's since you've taken on this political
Right.
journey?
I'm not even there yet.
Wow.
And just being in the work circles, I've had a bit of challenges there.
You've put together a pretty impressive manifesto presentation, both tangible and online as well. And you've shared it or launched it to the public quite a few days ago too. Let's talk a bit about the information that you were able to gather from speaking with the people and how you presented it through your manifesto or on your manifesto.
Okay, a lot of thought went into the manifesto. As I said before, there's nothing new under the sun. I believe we have been doing the same over and over and expect a different result. Belize City, in and of itself, is an urban space, and it's growing, and it will definitely grow much more. A lot of what we have seen canvassing the ground is a lot of unplanned development. I have seen people being settled in swampy areas, and those swampy areas are critical to flooding and the weather conditions that we will face. And so I have to, in my head, internalize, how do we address a situation like that, yet not displace people? That's one. My manifesto was developed looking at the Sustainable Development Goals 2030, which is a post-COVID view. I know my incumbent is speaking a lot to inheriting challenges after COVID and even with the hurricane. But I think that's another problem we face in this region. We tend to plan for only right a couple feet ahead of us rather than have a larger plan. I don't think we should be making excuses in terms of hurricane being, there should be a plan for that, despite the fact. So that is one thing that I would like our leaders to understand, that we have to project, and we can't project just for 5 years or for the 3-year term that we are in. It's for a longer term. So I wouldn't use it as an excuse, because that will show that it lacks in terms of your leadership and your management. So we have the Sustainable Development Goals that guided us. There is an intense, in-depth, very smart research that was done by Karim Usher, who is a Belizean. I think he's from the University of Oklahoma. He came down to Belize, worked with other urban planners, worked with urban planners. I think it's Caroline Trench, Sandy Ford. And they have given an ideal prescription for each constituency, the 10 constituency in Belize. I don't see how you could go wrong. I'm a data-driven person, and so I don't come up with ideas just from my gut feeling. You know, I looked at research, so that was one. And of course, as a researcher, we have done the canvassing and have gathered the data of what we see, observations, of what we hear from the people, and we have juxtaposed all of this together to come up with our manifesto. Now, the manifesto in and of itself is a unique way of approaching urban planning. A lot of people still struggling to internalize because, and I know I'll have challenges, while I'll have challenges because the manifesto is not totally aligned with the City Council Act. But that doesn't mean I said we have to break barriers. We have to invade systems. So in my position, even if it's that I get to do, but addressing the landscape or the urban space of Belize City requires us to use 3 pillars. Looking at the social, I know here my incumbent speaking to social infrastructure, looking at the physical infrastructure, which is the environment, and also looking at the economic development. People, the livelihood of people, if we don't do job creation, we will continue to face the crime and violence situation that we face in Belize. So it's those 3 pillars that our manifesto is grounded in.
How do you, I listened to a lot of what you've just said, and perhaps at our level, it makes perfect sense. It's understandable and it's rational. How do you take that and translate it to the average person on the ground in certain pockets of our society? How do you allow for that message to resonate with them as well?
Okay, see if I can break it down. It's a holistic approach to development. It's a holistic approach to improving the city. We're not looking at the city from only drain, streets, parks situation. We are getting a bigger picture to it. We also want to ensure that our people are happy. We have happy people, we'll have a happy Belize city. So in doing so, we will do a lot of collaboration with our agencies, with our departments, with people who have interaction, social interaction with people within these communities. We will be that voice of reasoning for them. And the last part has to do with ensuring maintenance and cleanup for a beautiful green space Belize city. That is my 100 days aim after election tomorrow, is to get the city clean up.
Okay.
The city is really dirty. I don't know what went wrong. I don't see how post-COVID or hurricane could have avoided that. I think it's a management issue.
I think one of the questions that we've been asking all the mayors is, or all the mayoral candidates, is if they enter this local government and they do not enjoy the confidence of the central government, for instance, in your case, being from the United Democratic Party, how do you intend to make it work still? Especially since we've been talking about municipal government being, or should be, autonomous.
And that's the problem. That's the problem that we face, in the sense that if central government is in, it doesn't matter which political party sits there. The political party should be looking at the country's development, not at the color of the people who are elected to do that. And that is something that we really have to break.
It speaks to political maturity, though.
Right.
That's what it boils down to.
Yes, correct. Very good point. In my leadership, even if we have to be creative, there's a way and there are always ways to get around it. So I am remaining positive, because I know I will be the next mayor of Belize City. I say that confidently, that I will work with the government of the day. It can be done. Let me tell you why. Because we see a lot of electioneering happening at this present moment. The last couple months, people's livelihood and people's happiness, people's quality of life is dependent on an election, where now we are getting better streets, better because the incumbent wants to get back in place. That should not be. And under my leadership, I would feel like a failure if I wait until the last 3 months to show people. I mean, the demographics and the landscape of Belize in terms of people looking at these things, people are getting smarter. We're in an information age. So when you do that, you are showing up your failure. And there is money, because 50 million has been granted to be shared countrywide to do infrastructure. So why not? That is just my take on it.
One of the municipalities that we have our eye on is obviously Belize City, but also Santa Elena and San Ignacio, particularly because of the obvious having a mayor from the UDP, and then generally almost all of the councillors being PUP. The reason why I bring that up is because you mentioned that you're confident you will be the next mayor. But what if there's a case like Cayo, where it's a mixed slate, where you are outnumbered by your councillors from the opposing side? How do you plan to take that on?
And Mr. Trapp still produced, even with with a PUP slate. Now that, in my estimation, is to get those who are not from my political party become politically mature about the situation, and that will require a lot of training and professional development to help us to see the big picture rather than to see the red or the blue. So that is my take on that.
Let's talk about Belize City from the perspective of municipal governance, specific to transparency and accountability. So oftentimes you have mayors who take office, they come along with their councillor candidates, and they're not as open in terms of being able to show Belize City residents what is taking place at City Hall regarding public finances, regarding the expenditure of those funds and what have you. Where do you stand on that, the issue of transparency and accountability?
I think that is something that is keeping back the region, or keeping back us in Belize. The aspect of transparency and accountability. In fact, the whole world, I was looking at a research on the African countries. Even those leaders, they fight to want to come back for a third term, which kind of could have some effects on democracy. When we have people in leadership too long, yeah, they take advantage. That's a fact. There is no if or doubt. On the other hand, too, from a leadership standpoint, development requires more than just the 3 years. Now, one of the things I would like for us to do, whether PUP or UDP, is to get our local people to understand, to get our people, the residents, to understand local government and the importance of local government. Because a lot of people don't come out to vote. They don't see the value in local government. Local government is supposed to be that part of governance that ensure that you get the quality of services so that you live a happy life daily, a quality life daily. So I am begging the residents out there, especially the young people, you don't understand enough yet, and it is our fault as leaders who we do not take the opportunity to get you to understand the importance of local government. But you must come out tomorrow and vote. It is your right, it is your duty. You can make a change for our city. Coming back to the point, though, of transparency and accountability, in our manifesto, we have highlighted the fact that we will do biannual reports. One of the things I said to my campaign manager recently is that on this website, we have to attach something to the fact that we could maintain and keep up the website. Because one of the problems we have is that we create websites, but we don't maintain and keep it going daily. So I already see that I have to go to City Hall for me to understand what other mechanism I should put in place to ensure that this happen, and it happen on a daily basis or monthly basis or whatever. I know that because I went on the current website for the City Council. I wanted to look at, is there a super bond that still exists, certain things. And the website was not upkept, the minutes of the meeting were not kept up, and so forth. Again, it's a management issue. I am not casting blame to say anybody is doing anything wrong, but you have to make people, you have to have a level of community trust. And in having community trust, you have to ensure that structures and your processes are in place so that people feel comfortable with what you are doing. So we have to keep them informed as much as possible.
My last question from my end is, I'll start with painting a picture and then I'll get your input. On a day like tomorrow, municipals, you'll have traditionally low voter turnout. For the same reason that you pointed out, people don't see it as important as they should. They, for whatever reason, place more confidence in their area representative to be able to take care of certain responsibilities that truly are the responsibilities of the municipal government, be it a town council or a city council, right? And so they believe, okay, if I go to my area rep, he will help me with the street problem or the drainage problem or maybe in some case even the social issues that they're facing, right? But by and large, those are specific responsibilities to the municipality, to the city council or the town council. How do you then persuade people? I know you'd mentioned earlier that tomorrow you're appealing to young voters to come out and what have you. But it's not just a young person's or young voters thing. It's a widely held or a deeply held tradition that people not come out for municipal elections, they wait for the big one. How do you convince them otherwise?
It's a good picture you painted there. I spoke to the young people because they're my passion. I serve them, and I know where they stand there. You're right. Going into the community, some people don't, I mean, mature people really don't see the importance. But I think over the last couple months canvassing, I think a lot of people got an eye-opener as to the municipal versus the
central.
Not the central government, but the standard bearers in those communities. For me, the city council stand as an independent body, indeed. So there has to be greater collaboration, whether red or blue, with the standard bearers, so that they understand their role. Because a lot of time we have dysfunction when people don't know their roles and function. And so that is something that we need to clear up. The difference between, and the collaboration that should happen between the city council and the standard bearer for each constituency. We have to see the big picture. We have to take the parts of the puzzle and see how we could fit it best. That is a major issue. I've picked up a lot of organizational issues during my time. This is just the last couple of months, or 6 months, 7 months, being in this political career. I can understand why people think politics is dirty, why it's a rough game and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a game. There has to be political strategies. As I keep maintaining, I am about policy and pushing for policies. Of course, I represent the United Democratic Party, so the political strategies has to be there, but it doesn't have to be this dirty game that occurs. And I say that to say that we have put up our banners around the city and they are being taken down. And our males maintain the status quo that this is a dirty game, but failing to realize that they should be empowering people. The banners and the flags are not the voters. You know, what impact, what effect does that have? What message does that send about you and your leadership? And you serving people on the ground? And then people come to me and say, but uno to staff, uno need to aggress a little bit more. I mean, I am saying it's not about that.
It can't be about that.
That's right. And I'm telling you, we live in an information age where people are now thinking for themselves. So the old politicking way, the traditional way, politicians need to get it right.
I wanna ask you, Dr. Nelma, about your team that you are taking with you tomorrow. Tell us a bit about the people that you have with you and why you believe that they're the best for the people of Belize City.
I wasn't a part of the selection process. I didn't know who I was going to get. One of the things in terms of me, I surround myself with like minds. And so when I first got the slate, I did another colleague and I, we did our research, we used our social science background, and we look at the whole entire team. And I'm telling you, I have a top heavy, it's not a top heavy because I have 5 teachers on the slate. Now these 5 teachers though, do understand our social reality. They are thinkers, they are creative in terms of, you know, what it is that we need, not that the others don't. I also have community activists on it. I have a youth representation or a youth voice on it. I have a legal mind, a paralegal who also sits on this. I have somebody with accountant background, and I have someone who knows about maintenance of the streets and the big machines and those sort of things. So I have a diversified group in terms of age, in terms of experiences, in terms of qualification. However, I am not satisfied with just saying that in and of itself. There are lots of room for, again, building their competence and ensuring that they understand their role in terms of community leadership.
All right, well, Dr. Nelma, we are winding down on time, so I will give you this last 5 minutes to speak to the people of Belize City and let them know why they should vote for you and your team tomorrow.
Good morning, Belize. Yes. I believe that I came with a different leadership style. I believe that I am passionate about my country and its development. So I bring good leadership to the city. And the team behind me will also share the same passion and the same goal. I want to say to you all, under the United Democratic Party, we have seen that the City Council, Belize City Council, we have had two great leaders, and they have left a legacy that I must also fulfill. And so I want to say to you that I came with innovations, I came with long-term thinking and goals for our city. And so tomorrow I am appealing to you all to come out, vote, make your voice be heard, and I will become that voice of reasoning for you all after March 6th, when I'm elected as the mayor of Belize City.
All right.
Well said.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nelma, for stopping by and sharing with us just some of the ways that you intend to shape the city if you are the next mayor. All the best. Good luck tomorrow. And we can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation continues. We'll be sitting down with the mayoral candidate for a third party, PDM. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers Bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
So the doctor has given me 5 days off. How do I get paid from Social Security? This is how Social Security works for sickness benefits. First, you must check that you qualify. You must be employed when you got sick. Have made 50 paid contributions. Have made 5 paid contributions within 13 weeks immediately before getting sick. To ensure that your processing goes smoothly, be sure to complete and submit your claim form within 14 days of the first day of illness. Thanks, I get it now.
Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
I have known Bernard Wagner for over 30 years and not only consider him a friend, but a genuinely good human being. We go way back to the early 1990s during the heyday of semi-pro basketball. In fact, he coached Santino's Hot Points in the final 1994 season of the team. In 2005, he then became the semi-pro basketball president while working at the Belize Bank for decades before getting into politics in 2018. I hold integrity at the top of my list, and Bernard Wagner has high marks in this regard. In fact, in my humble opinion, Mayor Wagner has been the best mayor Belize City has ever had, especially how he carried us through COVID when collections were at their lowest. He's a no-nonsense straight shooter and gets plenty done with limited resources. He's a two-term mayor, having won in 2018 and 2021, and I, for one, will cast my vote for him once again this 6th of March 2024. Belize City voters, you would be wise to do so too. I am Santiago Santino, the Chief Castillo, and I approve this message.
Weapons and ammunition must never ever be together.
Before I take that drink, I need to put the firearm away.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
The municipal elections 2024 are just around the corner, and Channel 5 has you covered. The results of this decisive event will determine the direction taken by 7 towns and 2 cities over the course of the next 3 years. Join us for nationwide election coverage with impartial and insightful commentary and up-to-date statistics. With correspondents in every municipality, get a first-hand look at the pulse of the nation as the elections unfold. And while they can have their say,
this is my projection. 9 municipalities, and it is not far-fetched.
We are going to go blue, 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 down the line.
The voters will have their way. Tune in to Channel 5 at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, March 6th, and stay with us until the winners are confirmed. Stay up to date with our pre-election coverage on News 5, Open Your Eyes, and on our social media pages. Meet the candidates, follow them on the campaign trail, and have your say on the elections through our social media polls, because your voice matters. Don't miss the excitement and drama of the municipal elections 2024. Tune in to Channel 5 and join us for unrivaled coverage that puts you in the heart of the action.
Hi, my name is Lincoln Flowers and I work at Municipal. 100% I will recommend Belize Bank mobile banking to everyone because it saves time, money, and gas price, because gas price is high right now. Belize Bank mobile banking just make life easier.
And welcome back here for our third conversation in keeping with our discussions with the mayoral hopefuls for Belize City is none other than Estevan Pereira Sr. He is the leader of the People's Democratic Movement. Good morning.
Morning.
Good
Mr.
morning.
Perera.
Thanks for having me here.
It's our pleasure. Let's begin by talking about the PDM. It's fairly new on the political front. You've had a lot of work and a lot of ground to cover in what I would describe as short order, right? What has that been like in terms of being able to canvass Belize City, share your objectives with the voters, and of course hearing from them what their concerns and needs are?
To be honest, it has been very difficult to cover Belize on a whole, to meet everybody. It wasn't an easy job. And that is why I turned to the media, because I thought to win an election, the people has to know you. They have to find out what you are or what you stand for. And we were campaigning on foot, going around from house to house, but then that thing is a tiring job. That thing is tiring, and for me, it's tiring.
Yeah.
I'm not young anymore. That's getting tiring.
Yeah.
So I said to my committee, I said, man, we got to do something else. Otherwise, we're never going to reach not even 20% of these people. This is not George Price Day. This is a different, the bigger cities, more people involved. So I said, we got to get the media. And that's when we start going for 5 and 7 and Love FM. I had forgotten about Creme. I didn't even look, I didn't remember Creme, really, to be honest, in mine.
Yeah.
And after we start airing things, we start getting results. Because before, people were saying, we haven't heard about you all. What are you all doing? I said, boy, we're a new movement. We're trying our best, but it's not as easy as you think. First of all, it was difficult to get 10 candidates to represent the movement. That wasn't an easy one. That was tough. But luckily we did it. God was with me and we did it.
What has been the response from the people as it relates to learning about this new movement, this third party?
After they got to learn about the new movement and we spoke to them, telling them what we stand for, because they want to know, why are you running? Aren't you satisfied, red and blue? I said, well, that's just the point. That's why we're running. Okay, we're not satisfied with those people. They keep promising and promising and never get nothing done. I mean, can you imagine, the mayor for the PUP walking the streets, checking drains, working out there in the sun? Can you imagine that? No, man. And even the mayor for the UDP is a young lady, very good, pretty, but I don't think they were made for that job. You need a man who's going to get out there and work. I'm not afraid of the sun. Get out there and see that these people is doing the right things. Get the job done. If you don't get out there, you'll never get nothing done.
So you think the difference between what your leadership would bring as opposed to the other individuals is that you would physically be out there monitoring the work taking place in the city?
Yes. We'll have a fellow in charge of the works department, but that doesn't mean I'm going to leave it up to him. I got to go out there and see what they're doing, how much lumber they're buying, where the lumber is coming back, cement, sand and gravel, whatever the case may be. You've got to take a part in that development if you want to do things. For example, I'm looking at, I heard them, they're saying things, but when last did you see the PUP build a drain? Or when the UDP was in power, when last did they build a drain? Much less clean the drains them. They've never done that. In Kings Park, the people have been telling me the grass is growing, the grass is getting higher and higher. Nobody comes around to clean drains. So what are we running for in the City Council?
Mr. Estevan, let's take things back a little bit and get an idea of who you are as a person. We know that the PDM is new to the political scene, but we also want to know who you are as the face, as the mayor hopeful, as Isani mentioned. Who are you?
I believe that the people in Belize should know what I am, who I am, and what I stand for. Coming to the last one, what I stand for is I want to stop corruption and also the wasteful spending of taxpayers' money. Secondly, I am a man, a businessman. I grew up poor, but I was lucky to make some money working for Santiago Castillo Limited, where I learned all my things. That was a good company, and I must say thanks to Mr. Santiago Castillo for teaching me so much. But when you start working and you make money, you have to learn that you have to give back to your community. When I graduated and I started working, I went back to my schools in Joseph School, and I coached the kids them there, and the first time I coached them, it was 2 years I coached them. The first time we got second place. The second year we got first place. Then after that I went back and I opened a business, and every Christmas I used to give away toys to the children. This is before I even think about getting into politics. So I am what I am. I am here to move this community forward. Even when I was a businessman, I looked at business and I said, poor people have to live better, but they don't have the money. So then I was a agent for Halib Foods in Northern Ireland that sells powder milk. And at that time, milk was selling for $3.89 in a tin. Klim, it was Klim. I think Brody's is the agent for Klim. And I said, man, that's high. I wonder if I could get something cheaper. And I got in touch with Halib Food and I brought in milk in the powder form to sell by the pound for $1.10. And that's where I made a killing. I really made a lot of money then because it was cheap and people were buying it because they could afford it. And that's where I started. So I am here for my people. I am not here to make things like the UDP and the PUP. They're not here for people. They are not here for the forgotten ones. Those are the people I'm fighting for.
Let me ask you a question here, Mr. Perera. It has to do with the viability of the third-party option, because culturally and historically, our votes go two ways for the most part, red or blue. We haven't yet gotten to a point where we're looking at a third party or an independent candidate or movement as something that is worth our while and worth our vote. Where do you stand on that in terms of either enlightening the people or making a difference for it to be viable?
That's a simple one. I mean, look, let me explain something to you. Our country, Belize, is already, like you said, used to red and blue. True, that's true. But have you ever seen, well, I don't want to call it party because you'll make me move from my movement. I am here for the movement. But have you ever seen a movement or a party having a mayoral candidate and 10 councillors in this country? Never yet have you seen that. This is the first time you're having a full slate. And I believe that this full slate is going to make a big difference. Because now we know what we're fighting for. If you notice, we as a movement are the first ones to come out. It's true we didn't have a manifesto like they have to give out. We only have it on print. Because I'm not here to throw away money. I'm here to save money. And the first time I came on the television, I brought out some of my things that I want to do in the manifesto. One, we want to put back the street between Brody's and the park that they took away from the people. Second, we want to give elderly people that is 65 years and older a 50% discount. If you notice the PUP mayoral candidate, when they first got in power, they took away 25% from the elderly people. And then I don't know what happened or transpired later on, but they came back and they gave it back to 25%. Now in this election, you notice what they did. They raised it by 10%. They're giving you 35 now. But if I didn't bring that out, they would have never raised nothing. They are followers. They are not leaders. And then we also have, what else did I put in? I said that all entrepreneurs that just starting a business, people that sells tacos, people that sell panadas, garnachas, we will charge them no taxes. It's a sin to charge these poor people who are trying to make a living and you're hammering them down. Then,
because you could go for a bigger tax base other than going for the little person.
Right. I don't want to get into that one because it's a secret for me there. But also we have, for example, you threw me off just now. I was just going to bring it and I got it.
My apologies, sir.
What was it? 50%, the elderly people, the poor.
The streets.
Yeah.
I want to just for the sake of using the time that we have, I want to talk to you a bit about the financing for your campaign, because as you mentioned, you are fully independent, and I would only assume that the financing is coming from your very own pockets. So let's talk a bit about that. You're the leader of this movement, as you mentioned. Let's talk about how you've been able to generate resources to finance this campaign, this movement.
It's a hard one because I promised that I would never go out and seek out the business people to ask them for help. Because in my views, I believe those people in the business sector, They're fighting hard to survive. So why should I go and beg them? I don't think it is right. So I started doing this movement, walking the streets and getting people to motivate them, to try and convince them to follow me, which I did. They came aboard. And I had to pay for everything, even the $50 that we had to get in Belmopan for them to sign up. And I paying for all my commercials and things. And when we have meetings, we try to have a little barbecue later on to eat. But that's coming from my finance. And because I have houses that I rent, and I collect rental fees, and that is the money I'm using to do this. But I am watching it too. I'm not overspending. I know what I am doing because there's certain things I will not do. For example, I will not put up banners, not because I don't want to, but you know, if I put up banners, the city council want to charge me money to put up each banners. I don't need, they're paying, but they want to charge me. And then, if you look at them also, all those banners and all those flags, they didn't make them in Belize, you know. They got them made in Chetumal. That's how much they love the Belizean people. There's people here that can do those things. Why would they go all the way to Chetumal and do it? You have to keep money here in your country. But, you know, they only talk, but they don't do what they say, you know.
I want to talk about your slate as well. You mentioned that this is the first time that we've seen a third party have a full slate.
Full slate, right.
Did you handpick these individuals, Mr. Perera?
No, I didn't handpick. They're all from different parts of Belize. And when I was walking the streets and talking to people, they shouted to me, Perera, I want to see you, I want to see you. Then I stopped and I talked to them. And I said, yes, what can I do for you? He said, man, I want to run. I want to get involved. I said, well, then let's get on board. It's easy. And I got all of those people the same way, just talking and you know, and they believed it. They believe. If you see my candidates now, they believe that we're going to win this election more than me. You know.
So tell me about the makeup of the team, the body. Who are the individuals that you have?
No, I got to try to remember all of them now. I got Alicia, who's a nice, pretty young lady. I mean, and she's well educated. She works with the tourism industry. I have Mr. Freeman Gongara, who is a teacher, very well educated, smart fellow, you know. Then I have
Zenobia,
young, who's a nice young lady too in the industry of the tourism also. Then I have
Wayne Joseph,
who works again with the tourism industry and very, very nice. He rent out tables, he rent out chairs, but he's very good. Then I also have Mr. Day. That's what I'm trying. Mr. Day, who's an educated guy. Mr. Day is well elderly and he's smart. Do you know that he was working with the UDP and PUP before, you know? He was responsible for this VAT and also this, the one that you get your money afterwards. GST? Not GST. Yeah, GST, he brought in the GST too. But the one when you're 65 years and older, you get your gratuity,
your pension?
Pension, yeah, from, what do you call it, the people, when the government uses the money for other things that they shouldn't be using.
Social Security.
Social Security. He's the one who introduced that here in Belize City, you know.
Yeah.
That guy is brilliant. But he decided to leave the European people because they don't listen to him. So, and he wants no part of them. So that's how I ended up with him. And then we have, who else we got there?
Mark Burgess,
who was a custom officer, very well educated. He remembers them more, he got good brains.
Well, I mean, I do know that he would be familiar because, as you know, Mr. Perera, we've been providing coverage of all the parties and the lead up to the municipal election. But because we are a bit short for time, I want to give you an opportunity to speak to the people of Belize City. There's your camera, and let them know why they should vote for you and your team, all of them that you mentioned, tomorrow.
Well, it's a simple thing. We are here. The People's Democratic Movement is here to stop corruption, definitely. And like I said before, and I'll repeat myself again, to stop the wasteful spending of taxpayers' money. We are here for progress. Progress. Not for self-gain. Because that's what I look at. In fact, that's the reason why I got into this movement and to get councillors with myself to run against the blue and the red, because I believe all they do is take what does not belong to them. They have been taking things from the people. Like I said to you, they took the street, they just did what they want. Then they're out on the streets right now killing the people with these tickets. As you park, ticket. As you park, ticket. I want to say to my people today, if you vote People's Democratic Movement, I can guarantee you, everybody who has gotten a ticket in February, we will take it out. You don't have to pay nothing. Because Belize City is small. We barely have parking places. And now they're putting up meters, no parking signs. All those things will be taken down. Belize will be for Belizeans. And we will have a free city. We will be able to work freely. We won't be afraid to park here or park there, thinking that we're going to get a ticket. There's so many businesses downtown right now telling me that they're losing business because their customers are afraid to park because they're getting tickets after tickets. So these are the things I want to stop. I want to make Belizeans feel happy to live in a country that belongs to them. And the major thing why I am in this with the PDM is mainly because PUP and UDP have sold out passports by the thousands. And because of that, now we're having a problem with our businesses closing down. You've seen it, you heard it on TV. All those businesses, Hofest going down, Carl Benz's, Augusto Kwan. I've been saying this from 2 years now, you know, that's going to happen. And I'm telling you, Santiago Castillo, Seaweed, Brody's, they're going to close down too. Because the expense that you have every week paying your workers is nothing to play with. I mean, I am not prejudiced. I don't hate nobody. I love them. But Chinese people are hard-working people. But they're the worst people to get in a country because they're going to take over everything in this country. And that is where we don't have jobs for the Belizeans because now they will use their own people. Yeah. So things like this, somebody has to step up.
All right. Well, Mr. Estevan Pereira Sr., representing the People's Democratic Movement. All the best to you and your team tomorrow, Mr. Estevan, and good luck.
Count on it. We're going to beat them 2-1. You count on it.
All right.
Belizeans are going to come out and vote this time. I'm telling you they're going to come.
All right. Well, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we have one more segment for you. After the break, we'll be sitting down and talking about the Seaweed Mariculture Symposium. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
As motorcyclists, we know the thrill of the open road, but improper overtaking can result in severe injury or worse. It can shatter your life and dreams. It can shatter the emotions of the people you love. Or, in the best case scenario, you're left with a hefty fine. Driving recklessly is not worth it. Follow the rules of the road and stay alert. Safe overtaking leads to a smooth journey. Choose patience and safety over impatience and recklessness. It can make all the difference. A message from the Second Road Safety Project and the Caribbean Development Bank.
I'm David Humes. This is Vanessa Humes. We own Ladyville Cool Spot. Belize Bank save us a lot of time. Working with them, we can keep track exactly what we spend. We recommend Belize Bank 100% because we don't have to go to stand up in line and we can check on our account right from our house. Working with Belize Bank is the best.
With the
everything is better electric. Be more efficient with electric vehicles and transforming your home with Energy Star electric appliances and power tools. This helps to create a greener and cleaner world for the next generation. Energize your world with BL.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered-up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning-fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
The municipal elections 2024 are just around the corner, and Channel 5 has you covered. The results of this decisive event will determine the direction taken by 7 towns and 2 cities over the course of the next 3 years. Join us for nationwide election coverage with impartial and insightful commentary and up-to-date statistics. With correspondents in every municipality, get a first-hand look at the pulse of the nation as the elections unfold. And while they can have their say,
This is my projection. 9 municipalities, and it is not far-fetched.
We are going to go blue, blue, blue down the line.
the voters will have their way. Tune in to Channel 5 at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, March 6th, and stay with us until the winners are confirmed. Stay up to date with our pre-election coverage on News 5, Open Your Eyes, and on our social media pages. Meet the candidates, follow them on the campaign trail, and have your say on the elections through our social media polls, because your voice matters. Don't miss the excitement and drama of the municipal elections 2024. Tune in to Channel 5 and join us for unrivaled coverage that puts you in the heart of the action.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
All right, we are having our final conversation for the morning, and it's all about the Seaweed Mariculture Symposium that's set to take place. We have with us Jalima Gol, and she is the president of BWSFA, Loretta Robinson, and she is the associate scientist for the Marine Biological Laboratory, and Mauro Gungura, and he is a Belize fisheries officer, here to tell us more about it. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Well, let's just jump straight into it and talk about the Seaweed Mariculture Symposium. What is it, and why are we having it?
If I may start.
Sure.
Seaweed is a fishery under the Fisheries Resources Act of 2020. It is designated as a fishery product. And so over the last few years, or maybe I should say decades ago, seaweed has been used in Belize for different purposes, including the seaweed shakes that we are very familiar with. In recent years, probably in the last 5 years, we have seen that seaweed uses has increased significantly, particularly in southern Belize. And so this symposium is really to bring together professionals, people who have experience in farming of seaweed and in the use of seaweed in different ways. And so we're bringing together our stakeholders, our farmers, and the idea is that we will share information, experiences, both from people who are coming, for example, from Indonesia. We have representatives from Puerto Rico as well, the United States, and we have our local seaweed farmers, the Placencia Fishers Seaweed Farmers, and of course we have the Belize Women Seaweed Farmers Association. So we're bringing in as much people as we can, because at the end of the day, what we want to do is to see where we are and to where we can go in terms of seaweed farming. And that is the reason why yesterday we also had a technical session where the whole objective of that session was to look at how we can develop policy and a legislative framework that could guide the development of the sector in an ordered form, so that the benefits of seaweed farming could go to the right people, our primary stakeholders, our farmers, our national processors and exporters. Earlier, I was speaking with Nelma, who is the president of the BWSFA, and we agreed on certain things that definitely need to be in the policy. I would invite her to speak a little bit more on that, if you allow. Nelma?
Yeah, I can speak a little bit on that. We know that seaweed, we have already a market for it, and I think that seaweed internationally now, it has a very large market internationally, and it's been looked at in this country as a legitimate industry. And so we have to come together and kind of create regulations around that and policy around that, so we can legitimize that industry and get a really strong foundation. So we as Belize, we have very high quality seaweed here. There's seaweed grown internationally all around the world, Indonesia, many other places, but we do have a very high quality and specialty seaweed here. And I think that we need to work along with the government organizations and other people here to really brand that seaweed and make people know on the international market what a special product we have here.
Ms. Robertson, would you be able to share with us what are the benefits from seaweed?
Yes, there are quite a few. Aside from just the health benefits of eating it, they have lots of vitamins, antioxidants, etc. But they also perform very important services in the environment. They help keep the water clean. They provide habitat for many different organisms, like lobsters, for example. And so I think from my perspective and the industry perspective, we want to not only valorize the seaweed, but the services that they provide as well.
It would seem, and I may be wrong, that the seaweed industry in Belize is small but still growing, correct? How do we get perhaps the buy-in or the interest of other stakeholders to become a part of this burgeoning industry?
Well, first of all, I would say that the seaweed sector is still in the very early stages of development. And I think that within the next 5-10 years, what we would like to see is a structured seaweed industry that, of course, will be guided by a policy, by legislation that will support that policy. And of course, what we are seeking is that it remains in the hands of Belizeans, and particularly small-scale farmers. Also, from a policy perspective, we are seeking that seaweed byproducts, for example, the valuable carrageenan that has multiple industrial uses in the food industry, in the cosmetics and other applications, we would want to see our farmers, through their organizations, such as the association, for example, to export these value-added products. Because at the end of the day, what we are seeking, obviously, is to ensure that the maximum economic benefits remain with our producers.
Jolene?
No, go ahead. I was just going to add really briefly that what Jalima had said about, they grow it internationally. Most of the seaweeds right now are grown in Indonesia, the Philippines. And so there is this large market, but we don't have in the region, the Caribbean, et cetera, we don't have the infrastructure needed to process the seaweed. And so part of the symposium today and our collaboration with the Nature Conservancy, who has partners in these different regions, can help bring them all together to help understand how they did it there, how we can bring some of those principles here in Puerto Rico or the US and Belize.
My question for you is to talk a bit about the association and the work that you guys do collaboratively.
Yeah, so our association, we were legally registered in 2019. We started out with about 5 members. We've all been part of the seaweed industry in southern Placencia, or in Placencia, all of our members. We really want to focus on helping our members create small businesses and value-added products and help them go through that process with packaging and labeling. Because I know we also started our association because Placencia is a tourism-based industry, which is about 4 months out of the year you get legitimate income, and we want to try to help or create other kind of jobs year-round. And so through value-added products, which really is one of the most important parts, well, a very important part, I can't say most important part, but it is of the seaweed industry because like Mauro said, we want to try to keep the value in our country. So we want to try to help our people here create businesses. So we work alongside TNC with fisheries, we work along with Beltrade, government agencies to try to help kind of mold the mariculture industry and give it a good foundation.
All right. Well, for persons interested in learning more about the symposium that will be taking place today and even after, how can they reach out to you guys?
Well, we're hoping that we'll have coverage by the national TV channels. We have invited them to be a part of our activity, and I want to take this opportunity as well to express our thanks to the Nature Conservancy for co-leading this event. It's very important that we have this kind of support from our development partners to ensure that we get the right things in place. And this symposium is one such event that we are very happy to hold today along with TNC. Because as I said earlier, it will bring together the right people in one room to discuss and to share information that is valuable to everyone. At the end of the day, this is exactly what we are seeking, to develop a sector that could potentially increase our revenue to Belize from the exports of these products. Also, at the national level, we should also be thinking about our national market because, as Jalima pointed out earlier, products like hair products and skin products and food items are important as well to us, especially for sale to the tourism sector, where we could derive a lot of benefits as well.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're doing.
Jalima, Ms. Loretta, do you have any last words that you'd like to mention?
If anyone would like any more information on the Belize Women Seaweed Farmers Association, we have a website, it's bwsfa.com. And I invite anyone to kind of check out our website and get any more information that they would like.
And I'll just add that the Nature Conservancy and the Marine Biological Laboratory have been working together to create a best practices manual for seaweed cultivation in the Caribbean, and we hope that will be available soon.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by and giving us some information on the symposium taking place today. Yes. All right. Well, we want to say a really big thank you to all of our guests who stopped by this morning. It was quite an informative day, leading up to, of course, the big Wednesday tomorrow, which is our municipal coverage of the municipal elections. We want to remind you, our viewers, that we will be covering the entire process from the start to the finish. We will be starting as early as 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, so definitely tune in as early as possible. But to all of our viewers who tuned in this morning, also a big thank you to you guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oie@channel5belize.com. You can also catch us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, as well as Instagram at OIE Belize. Thanks so much for joining us, and please join us again tomorrow as you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Tuesday.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.